A chairman of the Audit Service Board, Professor JoyNews, has justified their decision to change the locks to Auditor General Daniel Domilevo's office. He says it was meant to secure the office. Mr. Domilevo, who is on a 167-day leave, was shocked to find that new locks had been installed at his office, denying him access. Professor JoyNews insists Mr. Domilevo will be allowed into his office provided he informs the acting Auditor General.
He came back, collected some documents, including a letterhead, to write back to the head of state, the president. And then also, the acting Auditor General informed us that he wasn't happy about the security of that office. And therefore, he was suggesting that we secure the place. The board authorized him to buy new locks and secure the place. When he has done that, he gave the keys to the secretary of Mr. Domilevo. My information is that the secretary decided that she will not take the keys. The keys were again given to the Deputy Auditor General in charge of Finance and Administration. I was informed by the acting Auditor General that he says she will not take them. So we kept the keys, he kept the keys with the cashier. And as we speak now, the keys are with the cashier. Yesterday, the acting Auditor General informed me that Mr. Domilevo came to the office, went straight to his office and couldn't get in. So he came back to inform him that he has not been given access to the place. He explained to him that the board asked him to secure the place and that the keys are with the cashier. So he could go for it. My information from the acting Auditor General, he explained to him that the board asked him to secure the place and that the keys are with the cashier. So he could go for it. My information from the acting Auditor General is that he said he was very furious that we have locked the place and given the keys to the cashier, so he wasn't going for it. And then he went straight to Joy FM and then the other FM stations and reported. So that's how the case was. His office is there, the keys are available with the cashier, and if he wants to go there, he must get to the acting Auditor General and he will direct him as to where he can get the keys to get to his office. Nobody has locked him out of the office.
But Prof, you have occupied that office before. If you go on leave, must the locks in your office be changed?
Yeah. But if I go on leave and there is a problem about the office, the locks, the board has every right to make sure that the place is secure.
What is the problem about the locks?
The problem about the locks was that Mr. Domilevo came there a day after he has left and went there, collected letterhead and also without telling the acting Auditor General that he was there.
His office.
Joseph Akable in that interview there. Meanwhile, the Supreme Court has struck out a request to restrain Johnson Akuamwa Asiedu from acting as Auditor General. This was after the court had granted Deputy Attorney General Godfred Yeboah-Dame's request to have Mr. Asiedu and Auditor General Daniel Domilevo struck out as defendants in the case. This is in the case filed by CDD Fellow in Public Law and Justice Professor Stephen Asari, challenging the presidential directive that Mr. Domilevo proceeds on leave.
The Office of the President on July 4 extended a leave period of Auditor General Daniel Domilevo from 123 days to 167 days effective July 1, 2020. This came in the wake of concerns raised by the Auditor General over the directive to take his accumulated leave. Professor Asare is one of the key legal analysts who called out the move by the presidency, describing it as unconstitutional. He argues that the Office of the Auditor General is a very important position that should not be toyed with. He maintains annual leave is by nature voluntary. He also explains that this is a right earned by an employee that should not be available to the appointing authority to be deployed as a sanction to exercise disciplinary control. When the case was called Wednesday morning, justices of the Apex Court raised questions as to why Mr. Siedu and the Auditor General have been named as defendants in the case. They pointed out that the case is challenging the President's directive and not any action undertaken by the two. The court therefore struck out the two as defendants in the case. Lawyer for Professor Asari then withdrew his request for an injunction, as the panel once again pointed out that the injunction should have been sought against the Attorney General, who is defending the President's action and not the victim of the action or the beneficiary. Mr. Dami has hinted of filing another motion to have the case dismissed on the basis that documents filed by Professor Asari need verification.